My name is Vivian and I'm the HR generalist here at Bright Software Group. And I'm here with Saoirse, who is our DkIT intern. She's our social media intern on the HR team, and she looks after our employer branding side of things. And we also have Ronan here, who's a DkIT graduate, who has recently been promoted to sales team leader here at Bright Software Group. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the question box and we might answer them at the end. We do have a little bit of a Q&A session organised ourselves, but if anyone has any, please pop them in the chat box. So just a little bit about me and my background. I graduated from TU Dublin in November 2020 with a bachelor's degree in human resource management. I did my internship with Delata Hotel Group and I was a HR intern there for a year and a half, and that's when I landed this fantastic position with Bright Software Group. That is my LinkedIn there. Sorry, the email doesn't seem to have worked. It's recruitment@brightsg.com if anyone would like to send over CVs or if anyone has any questions afterwards. But yeah, I was in kind of a similar position to a lot of you back in July 2020 when I joined Thesaurus. Kind of didn't know where I was going to be, and also with the pandemic and everything, very uncertain of where we were going to go. And I think there's a lot of that still with the pandemic. So I landed the job here at Bright Software Group and haven't looked back. It's been a fantastic 20 months and still loving it. So enough about me, I guess. Moving on just to who we are as a company at Bright Software Group. First, as Catherine mentioned earlier, you might know us as Thesaurus Software or BrightPay even. So in October, we merged with another company called Relate Software, or Surf Accounts, that they also might be known as to some. And since March 1st, we are now Bright Software Group, so for short, Bright. So that's where we're at the moment. And just a little bit of brief history then on the company, really. So we were established in 1992, where we just started off with one product in Ireland, and now we have a large number of products within the BrightPay section, Surf Accounts, Payroll Manager, Relate Software, and also Bright Contracts. And we do have softwares in both Ireland and the UK now since 2010. We have over 330,000 payroll customers and over 35,000 accounts customers across Ireland and the UK, and that's growing. I think that figure was given to me before Christmas, so I can imagine it's much larger now from Ronan and the rest of the team. With the merger as well, we've also increased our staff levels to 200 plus. We have offices in Duleek, Tala. We have some employees working from home in the UK. And we also have an office in India. So we're international now, I guess you could say. So just moving on then to kind of why Bright is such a great place to work, or why I always say to people is you'll never work for a company quite like Bright. So firstly would be the importance of our employees. We find, support and develop great people, and we want to continue that. It's really important to us that every employee has a voice. We have different Zoom meetings each week for collaboration and making sure we're all working together. Of course, now with the restrictions easing, we're able to get back into the office and get into meeting rooms and talk and have training days, and it's been fantastic. We also celebrate diversity and are committed to building an inclusive environment at Bright. So we do treat everyone with respect, and that's such a big important word for us, is respect amongst management, employees, and just fully across the board. Just in relation then to diversity, our senior management team is 60% female, which is also fantastic. We have over 10 nationalities across just in Ireland now, so we're really growing, and our employees are really at the heart of that and everything that we do. So I guess that's the importance of our employees. And then just moving on to learning and development. As a company, we're growing, and it's so important that our employees grow along with us and continue to develop with us. Someone like Ronan, for example, he started off in the same week as me, actually, back in July 2020, and you've progressed on to the team lead in such a short space of time. So it's just one example. It's just so important to us that we are continuing to develop. We also do other learning initiatives that aren't necessarily work related. We do a learning week each year where the employees put their heads together and look at the kind of talents that we have outside of work, and we call it Learning at Work Week. And we've had employees show us how to cook bread in the kitchen, and we've had cooking classes and sign language classes and a Spanish class as well, where we got taught some nice holiday Spanish and different things like that. You can see the pictures here of us when we were making the bread in the office. And then just moving on with engagement. So engagement is really important to us. We spend so much time in work, 40 hours a week spent in work. So we think it's really important that coming to work is enjoyable, it's fun, that people enjoy where they work. So that's a really, really important thing for us here at Bright, is to enjoy work. You can see some pictures there from Paddy's Day last week. It was all wearing green in the office. We have great health and well-being initiatives. We've had the Wellness Warrior in talking about fertility. We have a 5-star rating on Glassdoor. We hold different office events. We do a really cool Friday fry on a Friday, which is great. Everyone takes turns at making the fry. And that's just to kind of name a few, our yearly barbecues, Christmas parties, different things like that. So just moving on to then some of the benefits that we have in the company. So we have a great competitive salary, fantastic commission and bonus schemes, an employee assistance program with VHI, educational assistance, free food, paid maternity and adoptive leave, paternity leave, great Christmas parties, loads of different things, but that's just to name a couple of them there. And then I'll just tell you a little bit about our kind of corporate responsibility and sustainability and that. So in relation to the environment, we believe sustainability is really important. We are committed to a greener future for all. When we opened our new offices back in May 2021, we launched a green team to go in line with the new office, that we were kind of starting afresh, and we had getting rid of bins under desks and having communal bins and stuff like that, so we can really concentrate on being green. We have a fantastic staff garden at the back. You can see some pictures there of us all working to make a nice place to sit at lunch during the summer. 97% paperless, different things like that. We've run a fashion clothes swap as well, to try and promote not using fast fashion. That's the right word. And then just moving on to communities then, we feel like we have a responsibility because we can make a contribution to communities, and we can help, so why not do it? So we offer free software licenses to charities. We have a charity committee that's run by staff, and we donate old computers to educational facilities and different things like that. And we run really good charity events as well. We just did a self-defense class there a few weeks ago for charity, and we do walks and different fun initiatives as well that really mix in with the engagement side of things. I'll just show you where we're based then. So the one closest to DkIT would be our Duleek office, and we opened it last year, as I mentioned. And we have some really nice features in the building. We have a lovely presentation room there. You can see we're talking about Netflix lunches, and we have a games room for breaking up that lunch hour and stuff like that. But it's a fantastic new building, state of the art, I would say. So then just on to some of the roles that we have available at the moment. So we have a few graduate level roles available. So we have the sales executive role. We have a few of them coming up. So if anyone is interested in the sales executive graduate level position, please do feel free to email myself. My email is actually up there now, and send me over your CV. We are holding interviews now for people that are finishing up college in May, June time. So definitely send over your CV if you're interested. And we also have an IT administrator role, which hasn't actually gone live yet. It will be going live in the next week or so. So you guys are the first to hear about it. So if anyone's interested in a graduate level IT position here in our Duleek office, please send over your CV also. And then just lastly, before I move on to the Q&A session, this is my contact details here on our websites if anyone wants to take a look, or as I said, send over a CV, or if anyone has any follow-up questions from that. All right. Thanks so much, Saoirse. Perfect. So we felt that the best way maybe to do the second part of the session was like a Q&A, similar to I think what we did in the last careers fair, just for everyone to get a feel for both Ronan and Saoirse's experience here at Bright. So we maybe might just let Ronan and Saoirse introduce themselves first, and tell us about your role here at Bright. Ronan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Vivian. Yeah, so like you said, I started in the company in July 2020. I'm from Dundalk and I'm a DkIT grad myself. So I did the level 8 in marketing. I did 3 years in DkIT and a year Erasmus in Madrid. So I graduated then, and I worked in the local credit union. I worked in a wooden floor business. I did some recruitment in Australia, and then I landed back mid-COVID and started working from home. And that's when I joined Thesaurus Software, which is now the Bright Software Group. So I think I was employee number 51 at the time, and now we're at 210 staff. When I joined the company, I joined as a sales executive. So I was responsible for maintaining and building relationships with accountants and small and medium businesses mainly in the UK, but also here in Ireland. And it's a bit daunting starting a job working from home at first, but it actually worked out quite well. I was meeting everybody here over Teams and actually getting to meet people one by one rather than trying to remember 50 names at once. But yeah, no, I've settled well into the company now, almost 2 years here. And since then, I have been promoted to a sales team leader. So I've a team that are doing the work, and it's my job to motivate them and help them to make as much commission as possible. That's my end goal anyway.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Ronan. And Saoirse, maybe you tell us about your time here at Bright.
Yeah, so I'm currently on an internship here at Bright. I currently study digital marketing and PR in DkIT, and I am the social media intern here at Bright. I work alongside Vivian and the HR team to help them with their employer branding, and I also write blogs for their software Bright contracts. My day-to-day kind of consists of being very creative. I create a lot of posts on Canva, such as the job recruitment ads. I'm coming up with ideas for TikTok and any other creative jobs that Vivian throws at me. I'm also, because I'm on the HR team, I'm being exposed to, let's say, the HR lifestyle, which is really great because I'm kind of getting interested in that as well. So yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Saoirse. And maybe just concentrating on your internship then, Saoirse, what's been your favorite thing about your internship so far?
So I'm literally learning so much every day and being exposed to different environments. So as I said, I'm on the HR team, so I'm getting to learn a bit about HR. Then the company itself deals with payroll and accounting software, which I didn't have a clue about before I came here. So it's just really great just learning about the different things in the world that you can go work in, and I'm just learning every day. It's just a great experience.
Fantastic. And then I guess from that, what's one thing that you've learned so far?
One thing that I've learned so far is that organization is key. It's really hard to keep track of like what you're doing. There's so many tasks, but just keeping organized and writing yourself tasks for the day to make sure you stick to them, and get the most out of your day, because the day just goes so fast.
Super. Thanks, Saoirse. I can agree with you on that one. Organisation is definitely key. Ronan, maybe you'd tell us then about your greatest achievement so far with Bright.
Yeah, so there's quite a few to choose from, with all the different big sales and different conferences that we go to and things like that. I'd say the biggest one, or the most memorable, is probably the first time I hit my target. My first sales target. We kind of celebrate everything in the office, and you'll notice that the sales and marketing side of the office is a lot louder than the support side. We're always having a laugh, to be honest with you. But when I hit my first target, I got a big round of applause. The office erupted, and you really get recognized for hard work. So I got a nice shout out from our CEO then, and everybody's so approachable. And we do salesperson of the year awards, and yeah, it's a really fun and inclusive place to work.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ronan. Joyce, do you have a question?
I do, yes. It's for Saoirse, of course. You know, who I'm delighted that you're working there in placement. I just wanted to know how, you know, you're doing digital marketing and PR in DkIT, and how well what you learned in DkIT has translated into the work that you are now doing with Bright.
Yeah, so I'm writing a lot of blogs. So definitely the writing modules that I've had with Kira and Liz have definitely incorporated really well into what I'm doing now, and also research. So a lot of the stuff that I'm writing about, I would have no prior knowledge about. So definitely research is really key, and learning that in college and knowing how to recognize like whether something is like fake or whether it's credible or not is really important. And I think that's the main thing that I have learned, and how, like, also using Canva. We used Canva a bit last semester.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. Is that a platform that you used and you chose to use, or did Bright have that already?
No, so the company used that already, which was good because I actually had the experience of using that already. We did only use it at the start of third year, and it's really straightforward to use. But it was great coming into the company having prior already knowing how to use that.
Great. And also, you know, just my background was in business and marketing as well, and I ended up working in HR for 20 years, so I can see that there is a definitely draw to it, as well as you know, and that Vivian has done it, so that's great. So I'm delighted to know that you're learning. And is there anything now that you would take back to DkIT to say, oh, maybe you could focus on this?
I'd say the freedom. Like, obviously when we're in college, we have freedom in some sort, but at the end of the day, the lecturers are kind of going like, okay, this is how you write a blog post. Like, you have your title, you have your picture, you have your text, but then when I came in here, it's just the title and the text. You don't have a picture. So definitely different companies do different things different ways. So it's just adapting. Like, you're learning the same thing at the end of the day, but other companies will do it different. Like, I could go work for another company and it could be completely different to what.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose every culture is different, and you just have to slot into that. But thank you for answering all those questions, Saoirse.
No problem.
Thanks, Joyce. Just a couple more questions down on our end, if that's okay. Ronan, maybe you could tell us about your development so far and how that's come about.
Yeah, thanks, Vivian. I suppose every day is a school day, and especially in payroll, everything's changing all the time. Geez, I didn't know how to look at a pay slip hardly when I joined the company, and now I could do a demo of the software with my eyes closed. So I actually have one tomorrow. There's about 90 UK accountants on the one demo tomorrow, so it's good practice being in front of an audience again. So I've the companies continuously they promote development of the staff. So they enrolled me in a payroll diploma just to gain my knowledge on the software. And of different aspects of payroll, and that's helped me to close sales quicker and things like that. But there's a massive support structure there and excellent training in the company as well. And that I suppose that led to me to being in the position that I'm in at the minute, working across. And we always have the other staff members to lean on, and everybody's so helpful and supportive of what everyone's doing. Everyone's working towards the same goal.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then I guess it's the question for both you, Saoirse and Ronan. How would you describe the culture? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So the culture at Bright is very fun and positive. You can tell that everyone is happy to work in the company. Whether they're in the office or working at home, I feel like everyone is included, whether it be with the Microsoft Teams, Zoom, all the different platforms, and how easy it is to connect with people no matter where they are. Also, the company like promotes like the growth and development, which Ronan just talked about, and everyone will do anything they can to help one another, which is really great.
Perfect. Thanks, Saoirse. And Ronan, maybe you'd add a little bit to that.
Yeah. So I suppose it's a rewarding place. Like, hard work is really recognised and it's acted upon, and there's great communication across all the teams. Everyone has a voice, and we're not separated between different teams. We're all the one company, and we're all working together. And I thought we might lose that a bit as the company grew, but it still kind of has that small family business feel, which is really nice. It's fun, it's inclusive, it's supportive, and it's competitive. There's always that friendly competition to get to the top of the leaderboard as well, which makes the day a bit more exciting.
Absolutely. I think you definitely have to have a little bit of competitiveness in you to be in Bright. Yeah, I would totally agree with those, and yeah, the family feel is definitely still there, Ronan. I would think it's more like a community feel now, because we're so much bigger than we were when me and Ronan started with 50 employees, but we're definitely a community now of 200 plus employees. And then one last question from us, and then if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to ask them. But if a new employee started tomorrow, what one piece of advice would you both give them? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. So don't be afraid to ask questions. It's obviously really daunting starting a new job, especially myself on an internship, like not having a clue, but everyone is so approachable and so welcoming, and they'll help you, and no question is a silly question. Just don't be afraid to ask questions.
Perfect. And Ronan?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Saoirse. I think you had all the same points that I was thinking of. Yeah, no question is a silly question. I think that's what I kind of strive for. I love helping out my team and everybody else across the company. And like I said, hard work, it doesn't go unrecognized. We're well rewarded.
Perfect, thanks, Ronan. And I would actually echo that with the silly question one. No question in the silly question. And in Bright, you could ask one question and you could have a line of 10 people trying to answer the same question, just because everyone wants to help and everyone wants people to get involved. So yeah, I guess that's all the questions that I have from our Q&A session. But does anyone else have any further questions maybe they'd like to ask? Or
well, maybe if we're waiting, maybe some people who are in the room upstairs might want to chip in. But when we're waiting for that to happen, there are questions I'll get. I know Vivian and Ronan and Saoirse, where students mightn't ask. But just in terms of that recruitment process, what's going to be expected of me? What should I be putting on my CV that will get me shortlisted, and what should I be saying during the interview process? That type of thing. So maybe any insight that anybody wants to give in relation to that, I think would be helpful for boosting the confidence and putting the application form in.
Absolutely. I might just start, and if any of you guys have anything next to add to it. I would always say that it's really important to put everything down. You don't have to put down massive, big, long paragraphs about everything you've done, but put in that information that you have done. If you have past relationships with customers and different things like that, everything helps. And it's good for us to have a feel kind of for who you are on a piece of paper. It's not just went to DkIT and I worked in SuperValu, but what did you do in SuperValu? What kind of people did you work with? Different things like that. Personally, I would always think go a long way. Getting that experience and feeling what they've done in the past. Ronan, I don't know if you'd like to add, or Saoirse.
Yeah, no, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Vivian. It's a lot of it is about the personality of the person coming through on the CV, and about who they are, not just about the experiences that they have. Yeah,
we're looking for someone who has an attitude that just wants to learn and wants an opportunity to work. And both roles, the sales executive and the IT administrator role, neither of them need to have much experience. If they have an internship, great, or even if they just have experience working with people and different things like that, that's what we're looking for. We can train and we can get the person to the skills that they need, but it's really about that attitude and really wanting to work and wanting the opportunity. So that's what I would say.
I think that answers Anthony's question earlier that's in the chat box here. So what advice would Ronan have for soon-to-be graduates that don't have any direct sales experience? I would say the majority of our hires don't actually have sales experience, and we hire people from all different backgrounds and disciplines. We have musicians on the team, we've bar staff, we've everybody. It's people with that eagerness to learn and that are going to be the right fit for the company.
Totally agree.
It's really from listening to you both on this session, and I suppose the enthusiasm that came through. And I know that when Joyce was speaking to one of her classes after the last session, there was such a rush to look at the recording of the event, because Ronan, yourself, Vivian, and the others who were on the call just came across about that positivity. And I suppose this is what we're talking about, the company culture, and your questions did fit into that. But I think it's really important for soon-to-be graduates to be aware of the environment that suits you. So it's really important to listen to I suppose what Vivian, Ronan and Saoirse are saying in terms of that sort of liking people, the in Ronan's team, the loudness and wanting to sort of reach those targets, that idea of liking research and writing from Saoirse's perspective. I think these are important things to help you know that training can be there, but it's also that personal fit in terms of culture that's important when you're making that decision.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always about the attitude and yeah.
Great.
Might be a couple more questions coming in. I can see some people typing.
Okay. So it really is about getting a CV ready and sort of submitting to that email address, Vivian. Is that for those particular positions that we're promoting today?
Yeah, and as I said, like, we're interviewing now for people who are starting in May, June time. So please do send the CV in. And we do have a couple of positions available on the sales side, and we do only have the one position now on the IT side. But the sooner we get the applications in, the sooner we're going to be able to fill the role. So don't hesitate to do it, if that makes sense.
We have entry-level positions, we have graduate positions, we have experienced positions, and there's progression opportunities within the company as well. And people do have the ability to move between teams as positions open up. If they find a different department. We would have. And
would you find exposure to that, Ronan, in terms of when you're in the teams, you'll see what other people are doing, and you can sort of discuss that then? Is that how that sort of progression could happen?
Yeah, everybody can express an interest in something. We have had some marketing staff that would have started off in sales and moved over to the marketing team as positions opened up and things like that.
Yeah, I've also found that, you know, with this role, the graduate level sales executive position, it is on our teleprospecting team. But we've had quite a lot of people and DkIT graduates at that who've come into this role and have strived in the first 4 or 5 months and already had been promoted onto the sales team with Ronan. So Ronan's actually the team lead for 1 or 2 of the guys who graduated from DkIT last year who've already been promoted to the sales team from the teleprospecting. So it's great.
Yeah, there still seems to be just writing and then just some thanks. There was a question there, probably came from the floor, Vivian, in terms of how many vacancies are there available. You might have covered that already, but you might just want to state again. You've got graduate, entry level,
and entry level sales executive positions available at the minute. I think I have 4 or 5 available at the moment. Have to fully confirm that. And then the IT administrator role, there is just 1 position available there. And we do have other positions on our website as well. We're looking for an account receivable person for 3 months and different things. So do check out our website on the careers site. It's thesaurus.ie. and then just in the careers part there.
Yeah, that's perfect. And just to say that it's bright, but people may need to be logging into the Thesaurus just to find that information, just from this transitional purposes at the moment.
They will, yes. Hopefully we'll have our new website in the next couple of months. But yeah, we're bright Thesaurus software, yeah.
Okay, so some specific questions there about the types of contracts as well. You know, are they full-time? What type of contract is being offered as part of these roles, Vivian?
Yeah, so the sales executive one and the IT administrator one would be full-time permanent contracts. So there would be a probationary period like most roles, but they are full-time permanent positions.
I have had questions in the past in terms of our international students as well, who are here and then after their level 8 qualification, they can stay within the country for a year. I'm just wondering around maybe your support of international students. Is that something you've come across, or do you have a particular approach to that?
I think we might have a couple on board. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check that one. But I would always say submit the CV and we can go from there.
Okay, yeah. So open to considering, I suppose, is the way to look at it in terms of international students. Then there is a question around summer internships. So outside of the standard placement, which is there for Saoirse and other programs, there are students who may not necessarily have a structured placement as part of their program, but would like maybe an exposure for a summer internship. Vivian, is that something that you'd be able to facilitate?
I wouldn't be 100% sure myself. I'd have to confirm that with our Chief People Officer, Laura Murphy. But I would say send your CV in, because if I don't have the application, I don't have an argument for one, if that makes sense.
It does indeed. Yeah. So speculative applications are welcome, and they will be managed in terms of knowing then what the demand is for something like that. That
would be a piece of advice I'd give to anyone in college: is send the application. You never know. Sometimes it will work and sometimes it doesn't, but it just depends on the time, I guess. So I would always say go for it if you can.
Definitely. Great. There may be a few more questions that are coming through, but I suppose the linkage with DkIT, I think, is impressive for us in terms of the good work that Ronan and some of his colleagues who are DkIT graduates have done in terms of being the ambassador in opening that up. But I also think that idea of having sort of the placements have been really important in terms of building the profile of the company within the institute as well, so that from that placement perspective. So I will, there's just somebody for yourself, Ronan, just saying congratulations from Caroline.
Thanks, Caroline.
I suppose Vivian has kindly left her direct email address as part of these slides as well. So if you want to look back on that, I'll also contact the careers office for any information around Bright or Thesaurus in relation to information there. We post all the opportunities up on our Careers Connect portal, and we do encourage all students who are tuning in live or looking back on this on demand to use the resource of the Careers and Employability Centre to get your CV in order and to prepare for interviews as part of this process. And just to encourage all final year students who are tuning in to definitely be aware of those closing dates coming up for the graduate and entry level positions. And thanks to Saoirse for showcasing what it's like to be an intern with Bright as well. But I think other than that, we might just leave it for now and let everybody grab a sandwich before they get back to the 2 o'clock classes or the emails. And huge thanks, Vivian, as always. Ronan, great to see you, and Saoirse, thanks for everything.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. All the best.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye now. Bye.
Bye.